Hello there, everybody. Waddles, how's it going? Hope it's going good. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to a new series. Today is the beginning of my tips and tricks series. I consider myself pretty good at this game. I've been playing this game for maybe like 5 years now, or more, a long time. It's been a long minute, and I have some knowledge, and I believe in sharing the knowledge, spreading what I know and what others know, and just spreading knowledge everywhere, and that's what this series is for. They'll be kind of random. Tutorials will be in the tutorial series. There's a playlist for that, and there will be a playlist for this. I'll link probably something on the end slide, so make sure you check there. And as usual, if you enjoy or if this helps you, make sure you subscribe, like, and maybe comment an idea that I missed. What do you have a tip for starting a new world? That is today's episode, starting a new world. So comment one tip that I don't say in this video, and maybe I'll make a viewer video, and of course credit all of you who get in the video. Let's do this. 5 tips for starting a new world. Tip number 1, mark spawn. When you make your new world, instantly go and cut down that tree like you usually do and mark it. Mark where spawn is. Do something like this. Do a tall plank tower. Make a tower of whatever junk you have that you found near spawn, and say your spawn's on a hill like this one. Put it on a hill, because there has been many times that I start a world and then I go build something and I'm like, wait, where's spawn? What if I die? Where is spawn in relation to where I'm building? Or maybe I'll want to set up an iron farm at spawn and I don't know where spawn is. So it's real easy to do. Just mark spawn a first thing when you spawn in your world. Before you go and do anything else, mark where it is. That way, if you ever want to come back and set up a farm here, maybe your friend joins in, whatever, you can find spawn more easily if you have some ugly, horrendous tower at spawn. But that's only if you're not building at spawn. Tip number 2, sheep. The second thing after you mark spawn in your world, go and kill sheep. Kill 3 sheep and get 3 wool. Don't worry about setting up a house right away. Just get 3 wool. So then on that first night, when you don't want to deal with mobs, who wants to deal with mobs on their first night? Nobody does, okay? The answer is nobody. And if you don't want to deal with those mobs, get a bed. When I start a new world, I rarely go and worry about a house. I worry about the bed first, because if you have the bed and you sleep as soon as it becomes nighttime, you will have no mobs to worry about. You will have no problems, and you can continue trying to find seeds to make your first farm. Don't worry about the house right away. Worry about the bed. Tip number 3 for starting a new world is, of course, start small. I know you want to build a castle, you want to make this awesome grand house, but if you start gigantic, you're gonna have to mine a lot more materials, obviously, to make your house, and then you're likely gonna end up with an empty house like this. It really doesn't look that good, even if you're just using basic materials, or if you threw in different wood patterns, it's still not gonna look that good. You have a giant room with nothing. In the beginning of the game, you don't have anything. You don't need this giant house. If you make some smaller house, like I've made here, all out of basic materials you can likely find right near spawn, if you have a world or a seed like this one, you will have your building starting amazing. This is really simple to make, and it's way more suitable for the types of things you're gonna have at this starting point in the game. A few chests, a bed, a little bit of crafting, and then just an overall solid starting house. Every time when I start a new world and I try and go grand right from the beginning, I end up not liking the world because I have just not very good, boring builds. Whereas if you have this small build, this very small but very nice build, it's kind of encouraging to keep you to stay in your world. And if your friend joins in and sees your spawn house, he's gonna be like, wow, that's a really nice house that you're starting in. It just makes you look better as a player to other players. Tip number 4, cow farming. So once you have built your very nice but small spawn house, you probably are looking at food now and saying, I need food. Now, sometimes I'll stumble across a village in the beginning of the game, which is really nice because carrots aren't a bad starting food if you can find carrots, but I advise you, as early as possible, collect cows and start farming them. Make a small wheat farm like the one I have here, or bigger, however much you need to fuel your cow farm, and farm these cows. I actually have a semi-automatic cow farm design tutorial. Check that out if you want. You can build that easily within the first few nights, and it's compact. You'll get leather too. That's another plus of farming the cows, so when you want to make your enchantment setup, you have the leather. But just trust me, especially if you're new to this game, beef is the way to go in terms of food. For the longest time, I would never make cow farms at the start of my worlds, and I just never would get around to it. Cows are usually really easy to find, and pens and little wheat fields are very easy to make. This will help you in the long run and develop a really good habit for yourself when you start a world. Now, honestly, I used to always think, okay, beef, yeah, I know it's a good food, but carrots aren't that bad. It doesn't matter. But when I would go to try and make, say, an enchantment setup with all of those bookshelves, I wouldn't have the leather. Or when I would get annoyed of having to constantly harvest carrots, sometimes like 4 times in a few hours, depending on how much I'm doing, it would just get absolutely annoying. If you start with cows and beef, you start with one of the best foods or the best food in the game, and you have an endless supply of leather early off. That's a very, very good thing. If you can't find cows, even pigs would do well. Any kind of cooked meat is usually pretty efficient in terms of your food. I really recommend cows at the start. Tip number 5, caving versus strip mining. So once you have your food all set, you have your house ready and everything, you marked your spawn, and now you want to go caving. You need to start moving up, getting better materials. I recommend to go into a surface cave like this one. You'll find them if you look around, and dig up coal, dig up iron. Just dig up the basic resources, but do not go too deep in the cave. Unless you are a very skilled fighter or you're on peaceful mode, the caves can be a nightmare early in the game, especially if there's a lot of mobs in there. Absolute nightmare. Don't bother with it. You can usually find iron before going too deep into the caves. Get, I'd say, like 8 iron, and then leave the cave. Go near your house and make a strip mine. A strip mine is just a staircase going down, usually to around layer 10, 9, 11, 12, somewhere in there, and just start digging. Usually I'll bring a bed, a furnace, a crafting table, and some chests down here. I'll dig a main hallway that is 3 by 3, and it'll just go straight, and then start making these offshoots. And you'll find things like diamonds really early on in the game. You'll find things like redstone really early on in the game. You'll find iron and coal, of course. It's just a very good way to stack up on resources early, and it's way safer than running into caves and just trying to get very deep in the cave before maybe you even have a decent bow or a decent sword. One other bonus of strip mining is you're going to get loads of cobblestone, loads of all of the other resources you dig up in the ground, so then you can go and upgrade your house size. This is a great way to get lots of resources fast instead of just digging rectangle rooms below the surface trying to get enough cobblestone for your roof. And the other bonus about strip mining really deep in the world is you could cut yourself right into a cave and then maybe find even more diamonds. I really recommend strip mining for resources in the beginning before you have those really good tools. And so those are my 5 tips for starting a new world. Things you should do. Mark spawn, go find sheep, get a bed, start a small house, not a big house, farm cows very early on, and strip mine as early as possible. So like I said at the beginning of the video, now it's your turn. Go add 1 tip of advice for someone who's starting a new world. Maybe some player is just getting Minecraft and wants to know how to start a new world. What do you tell them? 1 tip of advice, and maybe, perhaps, I'll make a viewer collection video of the best tips that I see down there. you'll of course get your name in the video and linked in the description of that video as well. But I hope you enjoyed my 5 tips, and I hope one of these is new to you or helps you out a little bit in your world. Subscribe if you enjoyed this video, leave a like if you liked this video. All of my other social medias are linked in the description. Make sure you check those out. I stream every once in a while. Those are usually pretty darn fun, and I do a lot of other videos. So thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.